I don't know what first drew me to raptors and practicing the ancient art of falconry, but I do know that it's been a big part of my life for as long as I can remember. I trained my first kestrel when I was about 12 years old, and I've been working with birds of prey ever since. I've developed a deep understanding of raptors and what makes them tick, and so far I've trained and flown about 35 hawks, falcons and an eagle, all of which became successful hunters in the wild. Falconry for me was never a sport, or even my hobby. It's so much more than that. Now, here in Western Australia, I use my falconry skills as a method of raptor rehabilitation, which deeply connects me with the wild environment from which I came, and about which I've become so passionate.
This young peregrine falcon is named Lucky, although she certainly didn't have the luckiest start to life after being orphaned in a mine site accident. Spending time with her and temporarily desensitizing her to the training environment is a falconry technique known as manning, which eliminates stress and allows her to reach her full potential. Flight feathers are critically important for survival in the wild. Unless she's kept in pristine condition, she will not be able to fly quick enough to catch her prey. Although falconry as a hunting art and as a means of successfully rehabilitating raptors has been around for thousands of years, the methods have changed very little. In recent years, however, the development of real-time GPS tracking is revolutionizing the training, free flying, and now the rehabilitation of these birds. The Marshall GPS tracking system provides second-by-second data on the exact location of the bird, its speed, altitude, distance away from us, and the total distance flown. Because of this, we can now encourage a greater freedom to explore and build incredible levels of fitness and flying skills, and eventually her hunting skills, in a very natural way and without fear of losing the bird before all her skill sets are fully up to speed. Remote-controlled drones and artificial flying prey, such as the roe crow, can be used to build elite fitness, allowing the falcon to fly up and away from the handler to chase and capture their simulated prey.
So today we're out on the farm at near Cunderdin, a couple of 100 k's out from the city. As you can see, it's a big, vast open space. I think we've got about 20,000 acres here, and we got permission off the farmer because he came and visited us when we were doing a display at York Shore a couple of years ago, and he got really interested in what we're doing. As most people are, the public are very, very supportive of this kind of work, which is nice. And he allowed us to come on this land and to camp and stay in the caravan, and we've got all this wide open space where it's a natural habitat for peregrine falcons. And we come here and let her go, and she can fly around. She's free to do wherever she wants for an hour to 2 hours every day. And basically we're just exposing her to a natural habitat where she needs to survive, so she's got to work all this out for herself. We're just the ground-based observers while she does that. We provide the safety net, and at the end of each session we call her back in or go and retrieve her. Yesterday, for example, on a similar one of these flights, she covered a total of 72 kilometres over about an hour and 50 minutes. And whilst we're watching it all on the GPS unfolding, we could see that at one point she was actually the highest she's ever been so far, and she got up to 1.2 kilometres high. So she's covering a vast area from that, and that's what peregrine falcons do in the wild. They hunt from way up high. So she's doing that.
The information can be saved from each flying session and then applied to the Avery app, which allows us to view it in 3D, overlying a map of the area. The data assists us in making realistic and accurate appraisal of whether the falcon is capable of surviving in the wild environment. From a rehabilitation point of view, this is invaluable.
The true measure of whether any raptor can survive after final release ultimately comes down to its ability to successfully and consistently hunt its natural prey in the wild environment. This is literally life and death for them, and particularly so for the more dynamic hunter species, such as Lucky. She's just had a flight. She stooped, we watched her stoop, there was a wild peregrine with her. She stooped first. I don't know what happened to the wild peregrine. I think it chased some ducks over there or something. She seemed to come round the back of this wood here that we've got in front of us. And my GPS tracker, which I've got here, is indicating 60 metres this way, and the height is saying less than 15 metres right now, which indicates to me that she's not perched up in a tree, she's down on the floor. The only reason she's going to be down on the floor is if she's actually caught something. So we now need to go and track in, make sure she's safe, get her secured and see if she's done it. And if she has, then huge step forward, and she's certainly getting to the point where she can go back to the wild, and that's what we're going to have to be doing soon enough. Let's go find her. So up to now, this young falcon, in her free flights that I've been able to give her, has flown over 3,000 kilometres that we've measured on the GPS. She's attained heights at times of over 1 kilometre high. She's stooped numerous times at speeds of 250 kilometres an hour. She's learned about wind, weather and thermals. She's learned about other predators, how to avoid them, how to keep an eye out for them. And now it culminates in this. We now know that she can do this, not only by the data that we've been able to recover and study and see her progression over the months. We can now see this before we ever release her. Now it's time to perhaps think about getting her back to the wild in the next few days. We'll just make sure that the weather's not going to turn nasty and give her at least a few good days of weather. It's not just a case of hope for the best, because now we know. It's right there. She's superbly fit and she's turning into a predator. She's putting all the things together, she's ticking every box, putting it together. And I couldn't ask for any more. That's all the reward I'll ever need out of this.
Falconry-based training and free flying has proven over millennia to be a surefire method of teaching raptors to hunt. In Lucky's case, this was the best thing Michael could do for her to help her on her way back to the wild.